Hi everyone, Kevin Ikov here. Today I am going to teach and talk to you about how to develop and start an I Ching Divination Practice. I Ching is an ancient practice. The primordial form of I Ching was when they read tortoise shells and the cracks in tortoise shells. And this developed out of that. It involves hexagrams and the reading of the hexagram. And that's how you get your reading. There's a couple different methods to doing it. You can use coins or Yarrow Sticks. Today am going to teach the method with Yarrow Sticks. I'll tell you why I think it's better than the coin method. The Yarrow Stick method uses certain energy parts of your hands when you do it. It's about keeping the practice sacred when you do it. And there's probably more of an accuracy, believe it or not, in using the Yarrow Stick versus the coin throws. You can do it with the coins, but I found a lovely book long time ago, back in probably the late 60s. I started and developed this practice as a young middle school student. I'm not exactly sure what grade I was in when I started doing the I Ching, but I was in middle school when I found this book. I can't say I understood fully all of the things about the I Ching, and it's kind of a complicated system to do in some ways, and I'm certainly not going to explain all of that. But I will explain how to do a divine divination practice and how to make it sacred. One of the first things is to have it wrapped in a sacred silk cloth with your Yarrow Sticks. And for me, I didn't have Yarrow Sticks. I didn't know what Yarrow Sticks even were. And so what I did was, they're supposed to be between 1 foot and 2 foot long. 1 foot was plenty long enough, I can tell you that right now. I basically went to the store and found skewers. And you can see, here's a regular skewer. Here's, like, they make skewers that are longer. You want to make sure you find a long skewer. I cut the tip off with the point, and they're nice and flat. And you need 50 of these to start. So you want 50 sticks like this, okay? And here's extras. I always have a few extras in case something happens to one of my sticks, and I keep them often in a pack with them. But you always want to make sure you're starting with 50 sticks. So here's how we do it. You open your silk container. I have my book in a bag. I pull it out. It's the I Ching Book of Changes. I bought this a long time ago. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. It was it's translated and edited by John Blofeld. And this is an old, bold book. I believe this is copywritten in 65. And I probably bought this around maybe 67, 68, maybe something like that, not sure. You don't have to spend a lot of money doing I Ching. It's a fairly accurate way of doing divination. I can't say it's the most easy, but here's how you do it. You formulate the question in your mind, what it is you want answered. And once you have that question formulated, you want that question to remain throughout the whole entire process. You pull your 50 sticks. Now we've already counted the 50 sticks. 50 of them, we know there's 50 there. Okay? You take your sticks, and it's also, what I have in this bag is also a piece of paper and a pen, because you want to write down. I often can't remember what each one was. Some people can remember it all the way through. And if you can, that's fine. But you're going to basically do 3 throws, not 3 throws, but 3 pickups of the sticks. And those 3 pickups make 1 line. You're going to need 6 lines to do a reading. So it takes time to go through this. And so it's a longer process. And you have to keep that question fomented in your mind and stay focused and aware on that question the whole time you're doing this. This should become automatic so that when you do this, you're doing this and you're not even thinking about picking up the sticks. Your whole thought process is on the question and that what you want answered. And so anyway, you got 50 sticks. You don't use 50, you only use 49. So you take the first stick out, just set it down in front of you. You take the second set of sticks. You can set these down and divide them, what you would say, equally or whatever. And once the division is made, and you know, you can do it with different hands and all this. There's some more description of that in the book. It's what you make it sacred to yourself. So if you divide it like that, that's fine. It's what you make the practice to be. You pick one stick from the right, you stick it in these two fingers here. Your smallest finger and the finger next to it, you put it right in there like that. Then you grab this left side packet of sticks and you count by fours all the way until you get to the end, and then you'll either end up with 4 sticks or less. But so this time I've come down, I got 2 sticks left. I put the 2 in there. This next one, I go to the right pile now. So now we count by fours. 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4, and we're left with another 2. So that's your first reading right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our first number is 5, and we set that there. Now we have to do this 2 more times to get our first line. See, this is why it takes so long to do this. So anyway, same process all over again. You take these sticks, you can lay them down, you can divide them. Some say with the left, some say with the right. It's up to you. I like to divide them with the left. You grab a stick from the right pile, sit it in your finger. We grab our left pile and we count by fours again. So there's 4, another 4, another 4, another 4, and we're left with 4. And we put that in here. Then we grab our right pile, and again we count by fours. There's 4, there's 4, there's 4, 4, 4, and we're left with 3. And so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got an 8. So the second throw is an 8. And just so you know, on the throws, the first throw where you draw the sticks like this, you can only get either a 5 or a 9. So if you don't have a 5 or a 9, you counted something wrong. On the second and the third throws, you either have a 4 or an 8. So here there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 8 on the second throw. Now we're going to do one more throw, the third one, or the third pickup. We can lay these down. You can use it with your left hand to separate. We grab a stick from the right, put it in those 2 fingers there, grab the pile on the left. There's 4, count by fours, 4, 4, 4, 4, and we're left with 4. We grab this one, the right pile, we count by fours again. Oop, I dropped the stick. Count by fours again. 4, 4, 4, and we're left with 3. And so you got 3, 4, so you got 8 here. And so, and you can only get a 4 or 8 on the second throw, so you probably already realized that. So anyway, this is what we have, okay? We basically have a 5, an 8, and an 8. A 5, 8, 8. Now, when you go to this book, there's a chart in here, and this chart, it's right here on page 64, which if you don't have this book, it's not going to do you any good. But hopefully there'll be a similar chart, and you go in here, and this shows you I have 5, 8, 8. So 5, 8, 8 is a young yang line. It's a solid line. Young yang line. And that's a solid line, and it looks like this. Okay, that's a yang line. Young yang. This hexagram in this system works with yin and yang. Yangs are a broken line. A yang line is a solid line. The yin lines are broken lines. Anyhow, and there's moving lines. I mean, this can get more and more complicated in the description of it, but this is how you get your first line. You're going to need to do this 5 more times for a total of 6. So you need 6 lines to get your reading. The thought remains in your head the whole entire time while you're doing this. So I'm not going to go through it all over again. I think you saw how you do the division of the sticks. I'm going to basically make up the other 5 lines here so you can see what a reading would be like. I will do the sticks one more time just so you can see it and show you how to do it. So for the next reading, for the next line, our 50 stick always remains in front. We grab our sticks, lay them down, divide them with our left hand, pick up that stick from the right, stick it in those fingers there. Grab our left set of sticks, count by 4s all the way to the end. 4, 4, 4. We're left with 3, and we put it in the next finger like that. We grab our right set, count by 4s. 3, 4, 4, 4. We're left with 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so remember I said the first throw only 5 or 9. Grab our set of sticks, and I set this one down here like that, so we don't use those sticks again. You take this, you drop her down, split it in the middle with your left hand, grab a stick from the right in there, grab the left set, count by 4s, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and we got 1 left. We set it in the next finger there, just like that. Grab our right set of sticks, count by 4s. 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. And so we have 4 for our second throw. Remember the second ones, you end up with either a 4 or an 8. That's a 4. And so second, third throws either 4 or an 8, and if it's wrong, you counted something wrong. Again, you drop the sticks. One more thing, I split it with my right. I grab a stick from the right pile, put it in that finger there like this. Grab the left pile, pick it up, count by 4s again. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and we're left with 3. Grab the right pile, and we count again. 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, and we're left with 4, and so we have 8 at the end. So this is our second line, and just to show you how this is done, and then I won't continue on anymore, I'll just make up the other lines to show you the end reading, and it takes a while to do this. So we have basically, what is this? We got 5, 5, 4, 8. 5, 4, 8. And so we go to the same thing, 5, 4, 8. 5, 4, 8. Here we go. It's a young yin line. It's static, non-moving. Young yin. Young yin looks like this. And something you can do too is you can mark the numbers next to them here as to what they were when you drew them next to your lines. I'm going to make up the rest of these lines for you so you can just kind of see what a reading would be like. So what I've done is I have a solid line, a broken line, I made another solid line, broken line, solid line. So what you do with that is this, and you always start at the bottom. Our first throw is at the bottom and you work your way up. This bottom first 3 on this chart is a vertical. The top 3 is a horizontal, and once you line these up, there's a chart in this book. It's this chart right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this chart right here basically shows you the way to get the number off of it. And so with this particular bottom one, you look for those lines going down. The first one is the one going down. So that one is, okay, it's the Lee, it looks like. That's where it is here. The next line is at the top. And that will be the broken and solid. Okay, it is, so it's another Lee, a Lee and a Lee. So that gives us 30, number 30. And so you go to 30 hexagram, number 30 hexagram, and they're all numbered. And so number 30 is Flaming Beauty, Flaming Beauty. And there it is. There's the same identical pattern there as here. Okay, it's the same pattern. And so that's how you get your reading. The question is in your mind, and then you come out, and it's about Flaming Beauty. Flaming Beauty, righteous, persistence, brings reward, success, rearing cows, good fortune. A lot of this is written in ancient text and language sometimes. I do like the translation that this man did. I learned this as, like I'm saying, a young teen. So it comes from a child, a teen. This is how I did it. I didn't get into the complexity of how many hexagrams there are and all this other kind of stuff. But I will tell you that there are mudra energy points in your fingers. And when you formulate a question, a divine question, a spiritual question, a question about your evolution or growth, divination is a wonderful way to gain answers. You can gain answers about financial success, your health, relationships, friendships. You can ask it really anything. And it's a process. It does take a little time. I would say you'd want to give yourself a good half an hour when you're first learning this. And you want to learn how to do and count the sticks, the Yarrow sticks first. Do it a couple times. I would suggest starting with a very simple question, nothing complex, just to get the feel of how you go through doing the Yarrow sticks. And the more you do it, the faster you get at it, the better you get at it, and the more you get connected to the book. Because it does matter what book you buy, and there's probably lots more books and translations out there now these days. I know there's all kinds of kits you can buy where everything's all included, including the sticks. That wasn't around when I was around. So you can do that and find the book that speaks to you, because it's got to speak to the answers. If you get a book and you do this and it doesn't seem to answer what you think is right, or you don't seem to feel the answer in that, then you need to basically find a different book. You have to find a book that speaks to you. And that's true of any divination process. The more sacred you make it, just like I have this little bag that I keep this book in, just like I have this nice cloth that I lay it on when I do it. It makes it special, sacred to me. That's what you want. You want it so that the answers are sacred and special to you. When you do divination, your energy is going in these Yarrow Sticks. Your energy is going into this book, and it works its way out that way. That's why it's called divination. You're bringing the divine into this to answer something for you of a spiritual nature and help your evolutionary process. So developing an I Ching system of divination is a wonderful system. I find it's a little more complicated, and I moved on to doing rune stones later on. There's actually a video of me doing rune stones. I find it much easier. You're just picking out of that bag, and whatever the stone says, it directly answers the question. You can pick another stone if that answer didn't fully give you the answer. So I find it's more easy to do that. And I know there's people that have done the coins, the coin toss, and you can look that up how to do it. I never really did the coin toss. I don't know that it comes out quite as accurate, and I never really was interested in it. Like I said, the primordial form of this whole divination practice started with a tortoise shell and then burning into it and reading the cracks of the tortoise shell. And so anyway, that's what came out of it. I Ching is an ancient system. There's 64 hexagrams in it. So, and there's probably millions of answers that can come out when you do this divination process. Anyway, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you develop your own divination practice. And if you'd like to do the I Ching, it's a wonderful practice to do. The ways to keep it sacred are like what I showed you. You can pass the sticks through incense. You can face the north. I'm facing the north now. These are optional things you can do. The divination is something you can carry this little bag with you, and I knew people that did this all the time. I hung around with a group of people that also did this kind of divination, and we would do it. We would help each other out with it in the practice of it and whatever, and we did it all the time. These sticks are so old. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. These sticks are well over 50 years old, and look how they're in great shape. So you get yourself a skewer set, and very inexpensive. Same thing with the material in the book. This book, back when I bought it, was only $2.75. It was a paperback. You don't have to go to a lot of trouble and expense to make a nice little practice for yourself. Make the practice as sacred and holy as you can. Make it for yourself. Let it answer simple questions in the beginning. Start it slowly and develop it. You may find the answers it's right there. And I suggest reading the whole piece of what all the answers are for that particular question, because there may be something in there of that whole entire piece. And some of the things in this, like they'll be saying something like it was about a cow. I mean, these are ancient things, and monetary systems and different systems were different then. You must adapt some of that answer to the present day. And so think about that too when you look at the answers in this for your question, because you might say, that makes no sense to me. But in that, you have to realize that's ancient sort of knowledge coming forward. Cows were valued. Cows, if you had a cow, you're feeding your family, maybe other families, milk, possibly meat, whatever. But, you could birth more cows, you could sell more cows. So if you had cows, they were worth money. So think of it in the terms of money when you see things like that. I found this man did one of the best jobs in translation. I can't say I've seen tons and tons of other I Ching books, but I've heard some interpretations of some of the same identical things written here that I've seen like on the internet or whatever, or seen in what I would consider like a better book, a hardback book. And yet I found that answer harder to try to philosophically adapt into that divination process. That's why it's important to have a good book. And like I said, the Yarrow Sticks don't have to be anything special. You can send away and make it Yarrow Sticks. You can find them today with the internet the way it is. You can buy kits that probably have everything in it, including the Yarrow Sticks. Anyway, this is the Yarrow Stick method of divination, doing the I Ching. I hope it speaks to you. I hope you're able to develop more of an I Ching practice. I hope it answers all your questions. But all these divination practices are basically used for your evolution of the soul, to develop and find answers, soul answers, for yourself. This practice is for yourself. If you have someone else do it, or you're doing it by pressing buttons, it's not the same kind of practice. This practice comes from my heart to my heart. It's to myself. And so the answers and everything that's in there come to me. The more I use the book, the more I do this, the better I got at this. I became so proficient and so good at it. And I have to say I am rusty in showing it to you, but I haven't done it in years. Now I use rune stones. I love rune stones. They just come easy to me. So use divination practices that come easy to you. And if I Ching is one of them, certainly use it. It's a wonderful practice. I've used it for many, many years, and it answered many, many of my questions. I hope it answers your questions for you. May you have a blessed and wonderful day. Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. May you see the light within yourself and within all others, and share the knowledge of I Ching and divination. Help friends, help family, help people. Show them how to do something like this. It's fun, enjoyable, and it will answer lots of your questions that you weren't sure about before. That's what this practice is about. Divination is this practice about finding that divine within the self. So you do this and you keep this holy. Light an incense, wave the sticks through it, light a candle, whatever you like to do to make this practice more special and holy to you, that's the way to do it. I showed you how to divide the sticks. I showed you how to get the 6 lines. You have to do it 3 times each one. 3 of them make up 1 line. And then you just use a book to find that, up and down and across. There are other ways to get those numbers. I did it by the book, so I'm showing you how I did it. I never put any more thought into it than that. But I found the answers came out very clear for me. So with that, I wish you well, and I hope you find all the divine answers you need in your life.